Good morning. Okay, so yesterday was a blowout. I only made $120. Only got one block from Amazon. And that's what the pace is for today. Looks like I might just get one block today too. Which is, I can live off of just I can just live off one block I can just live off of one block a day if I can get one a day. I just spent about 3 or 4 hours watching documentaries or videos about giants, and it was basically as in the movie Men in Black. The very end of the movie, I'm thinking it was just the first one. It might have been the second one. I'm thinking it was the second one. Where at the very end of the movie, Will Smith knocks open a locker, and it opens up into this world where the giants are not just like 13 feet tall, 35 feet tall. No, these things are as big as planets. These are beings. These are living beings, as massive as planets. Which it makes sense if you have suns, as large as our black hole in the middle of our galaxy, then you have to have beings that are equivalent. So our black sun, our black hole in the middle of the galaxy is I don't know how many billions of suns worth of size, and there's suns that are that large that I'm aware of, and in that case there's planets comparable to their sun that complement that sun, and so that would mean there's beings as large to complement their planets that are as large as our sun, if not larger. And supposedly debris, comets, and moons, and all these things are actually dead, petrified body parts from giants. Not just giants, but titans. So I don't care how big you want to get these beings being. It's comparable, or it's you can compare it to us to cells. Cells are microscopic, and that being said, we are as well microscopic, and the earth being microscopic, and the black hole microscopic. So supposedly there's debris all around the earth of these beings that were, and probably still are, around, as large as mountains, and like I say, as large as moons, planets, and suns. And if beings that large. You're going to have flora that large. You're going to have fauna that large. So it kind of goes back to the idea that you have ants in the jungles as big as your hand, and then you have ants in your home as small as a pinhead. The same comparison. I mean, there are things. So it kind of goes back to the whole thing of the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill. It's a pyramid on the triangle on the pyramid. The capstone on the pyramid is an eye, all-seeing eye. Well, that's just a giant. That's just a giant looking down into an aquarium, an exhibit. We're basically a living museum for them. We're so small and they're so massive. When they look at us, we're just an organism. We're just one little organism, and they're just looking down at us and seeing us as tiny. And the all-seeing eye will block out the sun. They're so massive that their eye could cover their eyes is as large as the sun. We're that tiny. And in the same breath, we're massive as well. I mean, there's tons of organisms that we don't even exist because we're so large, and that's the same idea. These things are so massive. These beings are so massive that we don't even realize that they even exist because they're over our heads. We don't understand. We can't comprehend their existence. So that's very fun to think about. I mean, they've had stories in the Bible, and I'm guessing in all the ancient texts, to talk about these people. I mean, the Nephilim, the gods that created us in their image, and so. And this guy named Mud Fossil University on YouTube has thousands of these rocks that are just basically mud fossils that, when the Great Flood occurred, which is supposedly a technology that was produced that made this happen. I'm guessing that's what's being said. You have all this evidence of these fossilized, kind of like, I'm not sure how many people know about the Pompeii people that got petrified from the ash of the volcano, or the mud flow, I guess. Same scenario with the dinosaurs. How you have all these fossils of dinosaurs that are there's no bone. There are places where there are bone actually, but places that aren't, they're mud. There's petrified tissue that was basically flipped inside out by the pressure and the movement of wet, carbon, I guess. Hot, wet, fast carbon flipped this tissue inside out, I guess, and petrified these things, and this what's left over is a rock, a mud fossil, and they're all over the planet. Supposedly, you could just go to a field where there's rocks, dig a little bit, and find a decent sized rock, and there's a body part, and it's all around the world. The whole world is just made up of petrified body parts everywhere. And supposedly one of the moons of Saturn, I think it's Ceres, I think it's the name Ceres of Saturn, supposedly it's just a giant tenon ball, like these. So your body has these tendons, right, and your skin's attached to it, muscles and ligaments and arteries and blood vessels, and all these things are attached to this ball, and this ball is basically like it's cartilage, I guess, I would suspect. And one of the moons of Saturn is supposedly just one of these giant balls. Like, we have them, every living organism has it in their body as part of how they're kept together and animated. And when you petrify it, it turns into rock, and the rock keeps the shape. So so you have tenons, you have these balls, these tenon clusters. I don't remember what it was called, but as big as moons, as big as Saturn's moon. So if something lived as large, like I say before, you know, an eye of this creature, this eye of this being is as large as the eye is as large as the sun. The eye, not the body, not the head, but just the eye alone. Why not? I mean, like I say, if we have suns in the universe as large as our black hole in the center of our galaxy, then we have to have equal size to measure for things that inhabit their sun. But yeah, there's pictures, tons of them, all over the planet, of these giant balls, these giant statues or petrified people of like these, 35, as big as mountains. They're literally mountainsides of people. The titans of the ages, and the giants. You have the titans and the giants, and very intense. Well, I'm here at Ammo Zone.